All right, for the first match, we had a bout between Amanda Ribas versus Paige VanZant, women's flyweight 125. Interesting fight for a few different reasons. Paige VanZant, I just want to add a couple of different things into this recap outside of the fight as well that was just on my mind. And then we'll talk about the fight, which was actually really fast, really short. But leading into the fight, obviously we had Paige VanZant coming into a very tough fight against Amanda Ribas, who was 9-1 coming into the fight. There was a lot of media attention on Paige VanZant, kind of talking about wanting more money, and that kind of stole the press for this fight for her. There was more articles and talk about her wanting more money and shaming the UFC and Dana White versus getting ready for this fight and being focused on the fight. I don't know how much that took a toll on her as far as her attention, being more concerned about getting more money instead of being concerned about just trying to train hard and win a fight. But I definitely think that it caused a lot of pressure when it came fight time because, when you're coming in at 8-4 and you're wanting more money and you in my perspective, seeing guys that are like, Masvidal and Jones and these other guys that have been kind of doing the same thing, but, their records and who they've beat and most of the people that's had these issues were champions or former champions, big records, big fights. I feel like it was a bad play on her part, if for no other reason, just mentally before she came into this fight, because I think when you walk out there and you've pissed off your boss, and you've basically, to some degree, you shamed your organization and their whether it's right or wrong or whatever the case, that's beside the point. I think that puts a lot of pressure on you to perform and do absolutely amazing, and I think that's what you have to do if you're not going to take some kind of retribution for her. If somebody comes after me or comes after my company, I'm going to be upset about it, whether I'm right or wrong. So I feel like that may have played a big part in this. And I think this is kind of where talking bad about your pay and wanting more and putting a lot of value in yourself instead of focusing on just being the better fighter, training harder, winning the big fights, and then worrying about that turned out to be a really bad thing. And Paige went out there, she fought. Wasn't a good fight. Amanda Ribas controlled the fight from the beginning. She had great clinch work, fast takedown. She had like a head choke, or it was a choke, but it was like a schoolyard choke. But it worked well. Paige tried to get out. She tried to transition. She tried to do what she could from bottom. Amanda did a great job of transitioning into back control. She then took an arm and went for an arm bar. Got the arm bar. I think the final time was 2 minutes and just a little bit over. So not good for Paige. Very good for Amanda. And, I think it couldn't happen to a better person to get an opportunity like that and to have won and now improved to 10-1. And she was very humble, very appreciative to the UFC and to everybody, to the fans. And she was very emotional, and you got to stand behind someone like that. I think it was, I was happy to see her win. So good for her, and she's definitely moving up in the rankings now.